Now look at her. Quaker Oats recalled Pearl Milling Company original pancake and waffle mix. If they had left our auntie on there like she was supposed to be, if they'd have just left her there, we probably wouldn't be having these problems. We're gonna get into the madness though. Listen, you know how this goes. Question everything. You should. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get to it.
Chicago-based Quaker Oats is recalling a popular pancake mix sold in our area. It involves the Pearl Milling Company original pancake and waffle mix. The company says the mix does have milk in it, and it doesn't declare that on the box, which poses a dangerous allergy risk. 10,000 boxes were sold in these 11 states you see right here on your screen. That does include Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin. They were sold as early as November 2024, and they have a best buy date of September 13th, 2025. We do have more details on our website. Anyone with milk allergies should throw the box away. Go to the store for a refund. Chicago-based Quaker.
See, our auntie would have never let that happen. She'd have never let that happen. She rolling over in her syrup grave right now. Like, I cannot believe that. Like, no, but all jokes aside, that's crazy. Because that's what you used to look for in the box. Just add water, just add milk or something like that, eggs or whatever else it told you to add. But they try to get slick and put it in there. You can't do that to people, bro. Like, I think they really trying to do something to us, man.
I'm in St. Pete, Florida. I'm in St. Petersburg, Seminole, Florida area, riding around, and it's 1 a.m. and sure enough, I'm seeing the mist, the fog, and I was riding through here, and sure enough, it smells burned, like burned plastic or like burned chemically smelled through here. I'm gonna flip the camera around. There it is on the windshield, looking weird. Look how it looks on the windshield. See, it leaves a weird residue on the windshield. You can see it in the light right there. And it's got particles in it. There's particulates in it. Look at that. There's particulates in it. You saw those lights. Those were chock full of particulates. I can smell something, and we all know this mist. So has anyone had this mist tested, scraped it off their car? I saw someone tested. I'm in St. Pete.
Nah, I ain't messing with it, bro. Like I keep telling y'all, man, at some point, we need to all be outside in gas masks. Seriously. Or we just don't need to be out there. Or we need to be able to have something outside to be able to test the air quality and let us know if it's safe to leave the house. And then, who does he remind you of? Like, he looked familiar. I can't put my finger on who it is, but that's bothering me.
So I have a theory. It might sound crazy to most, but remember a couple of months ago when everybody was seeing fog all around the world? Well, I came across something called smart dust. And it's a transmitter of nanotechnology that transmits information and gathers information. Now, what if that same technology was a global scale test of some kind, and we really were breathing in some sort of spore or something, and now it's just waiting dormant within all of us?
And you're like, how could they get it to all of us? Cloud seeding. Cloud seeding would be the perfect way. Go up, put this stuff, spread it throughout the clouds, get it to formulate some type of rain or snow or whatever type of weather conditions that's conducive to spreading it the way they want it to. Boom. There you have it. There you have it.
Egg prices, they have been high, $5 a dozen.
Come with me to the store in Thailand. Comment and circle to watch this full video on my private page. First, we have to get that ride to the store $2 for a 30-minute ride. watch it and to see the price of eggs. I made this grocery list of things the average U.S. shopper buys, including eggs, and see how much they cost. First, we got toilet paper, which is about $11 for 24 rolls, or you can get a 6-pack for $2. Next, we got fruits and veggies, which are priced per kilo. First of all, look at this beautiful fruit. It's huge. For example, this avocado, which is actually $3 for 2 pounds. Next up, we have chips, which the average American loves. You have this 12-pack here for $1.50. Next, we got rice, which is about $5 for 11 pounds. Now, for the chicken eaters, next you got chicken, which is about $2 for 2 pounds. Next, we got dishwashing liquid, which is about 25 cents. And what you've been waiting for, here we have eggs, $1.79 for a dozen. But you can also get about 30 eggs for $3. Comment circle to join my private page to see this full video where I show you the price of other items and share more cool content that will teach you how to move to a new country. See you there.
Nah, we ain't gotta move. We just gotta take a trip. Y'all, who with me? Somebody gotta take a trip over there. You know what I mean? Y'all know me, the plane situation. But yeah, we get somebody to go over there, pick up the groceries. We put it in a big bulky order, have it shipped back. Yeah, even better. Yeah, we can go online. They might have it online, and we just have it shipped over here to us. Yeah, some type of way, you know. What that dude said that time, if you get under a certain limit, you could avoid the tariffs and different things like that, depending on what it is. We just need to figure this thing out. We ain't got to move, but that's different. How many said eggs he got? That's different.
Franco returns to Alina's cemetery when this was captured.
I did see something in here, but now it appears that it's gone. From the window, however, it still feels slightly cool in this room. More like cold, if anything. Does that have anything to do with you? Can you give me a sign? Oh, that was weird. Oh, that was a first. Hold on. I literally just felt something touch my leg. It was kind of like something just went like to my leg and then just touched it like that. And then like, I don't know if that was like my nerves or what. I don't feel it anymore. It was like just something. I hope that wasn't just me. That was probably just me. Hola. Can you touch me again? Not that I'm liking it or anything, but I just want to know that I'm having contact. Right here. Is it my...
Asking a ghost to touch you again is absolutely diabolical. Like, it's criminal almost in a sense. Like, you need to go to jail for that. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, y'all gonna learn to stop playing with the dead.
A knife? Look at that, see? Alright, hold on. I'm gonna take my knife out of here. Just make sure it's not my knife. What the fuck was that? Holy God, this place is so creepy just walking in here. Yep. That's what I was ready to see. I forgot about that. There's all the caskets on the inside. Now I'm heading towards the tomb where I heard the whisper. This is it. Rosa. Eduardo. Carolina. Something that Discord was telling me is to go back to see if I could find a name that says Alina. Look at Leticia Alina Lambrushny. See it? I don't know if that was her, but I did just find an Alina. Let me look over here. Oh, there's one right here in front of the door. See it? Alina Pace. It's getting pretty bad outside. I found it. Or it's not my knife. What the fuck was that?
Franco returns to Alina's
Yeah, man. How about just don't go back there? You made it out the first day alive. Now you're trying your luck. You went back again. Like, leave the dead. Let it rest in peace. You're going to let Discord get you messed up out here.
A lot of people won't like to hear this, but the older I get, the more I realize that being afraid to gatekeep is a sign of poverty. And I know that might sound crazy to a lot of people, but at the end of the day, it's a reason why people of certain status, certain wealth, certain information, and certain classes keep many things to themselves. And the reason is because everything is not for everybody. Before you put somebody onto something, you have to make sure they have that same cloth as you. Because people will abuse, misuse, and won't even be appreciative of what you putting them onto, and that essentially ruins the essence of that thing. Prime example, how many times we've seen somebody come on this app with something they're putting everybody onto, and next thing you know, now everyone and their mother is doing it, and it essentially ruins it. Because you might have people taking advantage of it, you might have people misusing it, and when that happens, that thing, it'll never be the same. Like, I was watching an interview with Kobe Bryant, and he was talking about how Michael Jordan put him on to a lot of things. And he said the only reason Jordan did it, it was because Jordan knew that Kobe was of the same cloth as him. And he knew Kobe was going to appreciate it. He knew Kobe was going to put the work ethic in. And he knew Kobe was going to utilize those things he was teaching him without representing it, because he knew Kobe truly loved the game just how he did. And gatekeeping is the exact same way. It's standards to everything. And I'm not saying gatekeep everything. If you have something that could immediately change somebody's life or help them change their life, you should do your best to help people. But what I am saying is everything is not for everybody. Certain things, they're for certain people on certain intellectual levels. Certain things are for certain people on financial levels. Certain things are for certain people at certain taste levels. But a lot of things, they're not for everybody. And when you open things up to everybody, no matter what level they're on, you start to muddy the waters and you start to ruin whatever that thing is. I don't care if it's a bar, a lounge, a restaurant, a cologne, a perfume, a social club, a book. It doesn't matter what it is. Certain things are only meant to be kept between certain people. And when you're in poverty, just because you're down bad, you have this innate need. You feel like it's a noble thing to try to help and see everybody doing good. But that's not your responsibility. Nor is it necessary, because each person has to be on their own journey. You can't force somebody to be anything intellectual, financially, on any level. You can't force anybody to be anything. In certain social levels, they understand that dynamic, which is why they aren't afraid or scared to gatekeep. A lot of people won't like to hear this, but the older...
That's an interesting take, and definitely something I've struggled with throughout the years. Because when you get the information, you want to give it to the people, you know? And I do. But it's also like, man, y'all don't even know how much blood, sweat, and tears. Let's just take my trading, for example. Like, some people, and you try to tell them or give them the information, and they just treat it like it's, I don't know, they fumble the bag a lot. They fumble the ball a lot. Because they didn't put in the hard work, so they don't appreciate it. Like, I spent sleepless nights up, studying charts, looking at companies, dissecting, going back through. I'm talking years of losses. Like, a lot of different things, man, that I fought to go through and to keep coming back after getting knocked down over and over and feeling like, why am I not getting this? And maybe like the mental battle for somebody to come along and you just hand it to them and they don't appreciate it. Like, that'll make you mad, bro. It does, because you knew what it took for you to get here. Like, it took a lot of sacrifice to get to this point. And then you're just supposed to I struggle with that. And I'm just being honest. I'm being honest with you, 1000% transparent, vulnerable. That you struggle with that. Because when you hand your baby to somebody and they don't treat it the way you've treated it, they don't appreciate it the way you've appreciated it, it's messed up, man. It's a messed up way to feel, bro. But I want everybody to win. Everybody to win.
Gatekeeping is a sign that you love yourself. Sorry. But everything you do, everywhere you go, everything you like, every person you know, every experience you've had does not need to be shared with everybody. You can keep some things for yourself. There are aspects of your personality that you don't have to show anyone. Your secrets are yours. The way that you do things, the specific traditions and shortcuts that you know, let them be yours. Or at the very least, make sure that you are going to be properly compensated for sharing these things. As selfish as it sounds, again, I say this all the time, this is your life. It's for you. So stop feeling like you have to overshare or over-explain or overcomplicate why you do what you do the way that you do it.
And that's the other thing, like, it's you want to see people be great. You know, you want to see people get out of situations that they're in, you know, but they got to have that work ethic, the drive themselves. I can give you the information, but you got to still put the work in. You know, I don't have that crab in the barrel mentality. I don't. No, absolutely not. I don't have that in me. There's enough out here for everybody. But people need to put the work in. Stop complaining about, I'm a product of my environment. That's an excuse you can only use for so long before you make the decision to change your situation. You have to change your situation. You got a phone, if you got access to the internet, you got all the information right there. Come up with something, put a plan together, and execute.
Okay, you guys, I just had a Mandela effect happen, and it's something that has always bothered me, but I saw it confirmed last night watching a movie. Now, I don't know if you're new to Mandela effects, but what it is it's something that you know happened in the past, but somehow there must have been a glitch in the matrix, or we're living in a parallel universe where some things just aren't the way they used to be. They say Ed McMahon never did Publishers Clearinghouse. They say there was never a Sinbad movie. That Darth Vader never said, "Luke, I am your father." It was never "Mirror, mirror on the wall." All these things they say didn't happen. One of the ones that's bothered me is the 52 states. I remember in 4th grade learning about the 52 states. This was in 1980, 81, somewhere around there. My husband remembers learning about 52 states. There is a Reddit thread from 10 years ago talking about the 52 states. And now people are saying there was never 52 states. It was always 50. Hawaii and Alaska, there were 48 states, and Hawaii and Alaska made 50. Well, not in my timeline. Alaska and Hawaii made 52 states. But somehow there is no evidence of this except people's memories from back in the 80s. I don't know when it ended or when the glitch happened.
Well, to be honest, y'all was having a lot of fun in the 80s. Y'all was having a lot of nose candy parties. You know, that might have kind of clouded you guys' memories or something for those who was out having a good old time, you know, who was out partying with Boston George.
Happened. It may have been in 2012, but I vividly remember 52 states. So last night, my husband and I were watching An Officer and a Gentleman, which, number one, it came out in 1982, so I was like in 5th or 6th grade, and I can't believe I was watching that. Like, I remember seeing it when it came out, because there's a lot of nakedness and a lot of inappropriate things that a 5th and 6th grader should never have seen. However, during one of the scenes where Sid and Mayo were talking, Sid was talking about a crossroads he was in, where his parents wanted him to marry a girl back home in Oklahoma, and he was sleeping with Lynette while they were at this base during the training, blah, 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 and she was saying she was pregnant, all the things, and he was going to have to propose. So while we were watching the movie, they were walking down the street talking about this, and this is what he said. Now, mind you, it may be a little inappropriate for 5th and 6th graders to listen to when I was watching this movie back then. Well, back in those days. I guess it's a little bit different now.
Why is Edward here? What if he starts leaking this information again?
You've probably heard about this 19-year-old Doge worker who referred to himself online as Big Balls. Well, that audio is from a recorded meeting, managers talking about Edward Korstein in 2022. Now, today, he's now part of Elon Musk's team tasked with overhauling the federal government. But Korstein was fired from an internship at an Arizona data company called Path Network for leaking proprietary information, according to the CEO. And on that recorded call, listen to what that CEO says about Korstein.
He simply has to, not be exposed to anything that's overly sensitive. Don't give him access to the XCP code. Period.
So
he can play with the switches and stuff all he wants.
A 17-year-old who we can't pursue legally. Are you
Not at all.
Right now?
Not at all. I'm not saying that we risk the entire network. I don't know where you're getting that.
Execs at the company asked what they should tell the staff about Korstein coming back.
They're freaking out in my DMs that, why the is Edward back when Marshall said he was leaking stuff and blah, blah, blah,
Just say that he apologized. He said it won't happen again, and he's
young and
migrating. He's migrating everything off of it. He's a young guy, and he has given us his word he won't do it again.
Well,
he can watch. He can learn. It's an internship, right? At the end of the day, do we really want this guy just running around, running amok, access to the network in the past and everything as an enemy, or do we want more allies?
Path says Korstein was permanently terminated a short time later. We also reached out to Doge and Korstein, and we haven't heard back. But Korstein reportedly said he had done nothing contractually wrong during his time at Path.
So I just got home from work, and I just felt like this needed to be said. Literally right before I was about to clock out for the day, I work at a hardware store. My cashier calls me over, and he's like, hey, this customer wants to buy 4 gift cards for $2,000 each. So I was like, okay. So I walk up to customer service. I'm like, hey. And it's an elderly guy. And I already knew, off the bat, what was going on. So I asked him, I'm like, is anyone forcing you to buy these gift cards? And the way he looked at me, and he nodded, he was like, yes. And they were on the phone. So I immediately called my manager over and told her exactly, what was going on. And so we were talking to him, and mind you, they're still on the phone with him. And so before that, I told him, this is fraud. Let me get my manager. So she came over, and they were on the phone. And while they're on the phone, they're texting him hey, are you in the store? And he didn't reply. He hung up. And we were just talking to him did you give them any information or whatnot? And the crazy part is he went to another store before our store, got a gift card for $2,000. This customer withdrew $10,000 from his account to buy gift cards, $2,000 each. And we told him no, this is a scam. Go to the police station, do a police report because it's not good. And it was heavy on my heart because I'm people are just so evil.
I'm lost though. Why, how are they forcing, what's the scam here? What do they just approach you outside and threaten you or something like that for you to go withdraw money and put it on a gift card? And then and then in return giving it to them? I'm so out of the loop as far as this right here one goes. I haven't heard this one.
Evil. And what's crazy is he's like, my laptop got hacked, so I called Microsoft, and then they gave me this number to call, and he called the number that was basically fraud. And we were just telling him, like, no, like, you need to take your laptop, go to the police station, make a police report. And my manager ended up calling the number, and it's just like, basically I say this to say, like, if you have grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins that are, elderly and older, let them know, like, if they get a call from someone telling them to withdraw money from their account and go to a store and purchase gift cards, that no, it's a scam. Like, I wish that other store would have asked them, hey, like, is anybody forcing you to buy this? And we could have saved him, literally like $2,000. And I asked him, I'm like, hey, like, do you have anybody that can go with you to the police station? He's like, no, I'm just an old man. I'm by myself. And that broke me, like, so bad. Because I can only imagine, being alone by yourself. You have these people on the phone telling you to withdraw this amount of money, and you think it's legit, like, you think it's real. And we're like, no, like, call the number on the back of your debit card and talk to your bank and let them know what happened. Like, if only that other store would have pried a little bit more to, get a little bit more information. Because yes, we do have customers who buy X amount of money in gift cards. But when you have an elderly man asking, and we don't even know if he asks, for more gift cards. Maybe they told him that's the limit. Who knows? But if you work at a retail store, a big retail store, I suggest you just ask customers, even regular customers, if they're buying X amount of money and gift cards. Just ask them, hey, is anybody forcing you to, buy these gift cards? Has anyone called you and asked you to go to your bank, withdraw some money, and go buy gift cards at a certain amount of stores? Like, I don't know. As a society, like, man, we got to do better. We have to do better. Like,
that's what I was saying before. Like, it's a lot of people would be like, who's dumb enough to fall for these scams? It's not who's dumb enough. It's who's out of the loop, who's not aware of what's going on, who stays in the home, not really tapped into what's going on with society, technology, the scammers, all this type of stuff like that. It's the elderly. It's the elderly. So when they do these scams, that's who they mainly be targeting. That's who they be targeting. What may look bogus to us and be like, man, I ain't crazy. You ain't getting me with that. May get someone who's older, who's not really paying attention and thinking somebody would do that to them.
Good evening. We begin tonight with breaking news. President Trump has just fired the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, his top military advisor. He made the announcement on social media. Quoting from his post, I want to thank General Charles C.Q. Brown for his over 40 years of service to our country, including as our current chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He's a fine gentleman and an outstanding leader, and I wish a great future for him and his family. The president went on to say, today I'm honored to announce that I'm nominating Air Force Lieutenant General Dan Raisin Kane to be the next chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Now, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had previously called for General Brown's firing because of his, quote, woke focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in the military. Hegseth, on a radio show last fall said, or a podcast last fall said, first of all, you got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. And he went on to talk about how any general involved with DEI efforts should be fired. Either you're in for war fighting and that's it, he said. CNN's Caitlin Collin has more reporting on this, and she joins us right now. It's not entirely unexpected, especially since the new defense secretary has been talking about this before he was even being considered for that job. How much of this is about DEI?
Well, I think it depends on your definition and what that looks like. And I will say that when Hegseth got confirmed as the defense secretary, that he stood next to General C.Q. Brown, and who is the president's top military advisor, effectively, and said that he looked forward to working with him. So we actually saw him strike quite a different tone after Hegseth had gone through the confirmation process. It was actually at the Pentagon. But one thing that was clear was this is something that has been long rumored for weeks now, that this was in the works, that this was going to happen, that they had not changed their mind on that feeling initially of General C.Q. Brown ever since you heard those comments from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. And just to drive home how unusual this is, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Anderson, typically stays regardless of who the president is. Even if they change parties and it's a different administration, they stay for that 4-year term. And he started his in October of 2023. He succeeded General Mark Milley in this role. And so his term does not expire until the fall of 2027. But with this ouster tonight, Trump has removed him from his post and is now picking someone else to take this position, which really does drive home what you heard from Pete Hegseth in that interview back in November, blaming him for DEI policies. That is obviously part of this. And I've been talking to people in recent weeks. None of them would say on background or privately that CQ Brown's job was assured in this role. I will note today he was posting pictures. He was at the southern border and was talking about the work that the military has been doing and what that partnership looks like. And so he clearly was still doing his job as of just a few hours ago before Trump announced on Truth Social tonight that he was ousting him.
Traditionally, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, usually, as administrations change, that position often remains the same. It's not that each time a new president comes in, that person is removed.
Yeah, for example, General Mark Milley. That was Trump's actual handpicked Joint Chiefs of Staff chairman. It might be hard for some to believe, given how much that relationship deteriorated and how Trump talks about Mark Milley now and is, posted things suggesting military tribunals for him. But that was actually someone that he handpicked in his first term to be the Joint Chiefs chairman and take on that role. It is a 4-year term. When President Biden won and took office, he kept Mark Milley in that role and did not fire him or oust him. And then when his term expired, that is when he picked CQ Brown. It is now a 4-year role. It used to be every 2 years, I believe, and then they would go up for Senate confirmation once again. But typically, yeah, those are positions that stay on and that stays regardless of the political party. And so the thing to watch here tonight, though, Andrew.
This is what I was saying before. These jobs are not appealing anymore now. Like, put yourself in someone's shoes that job vacancy just came up. What's going to be your first thought? You're going to be like, okay, is there any security in this job? Is there any job security? So when this administration is done, will I still have a job? And nobody can definitively tell you yes. So you could have this thing for 4 years and be done. Just like that. Like when you get up in age, you want stability, not something that could just change with each new president. No.
Anderson, as this is the first major firing that we are seeing happening at the Pentagon since Trump took office just a little over a month ago, is whether anyone else is to follow. Because there have been rumors that have been rampant in Washington for weeks now that there is going to be mass firings, I would say multiple firings at the leadership at the Pentagon. It's been hard to run down whether or not that's actually going to happen, but tonight we are getting this late night announcement. The top military advisor to the president has been ousted.
All right, Caitlin Collins, thanks very much.